Howdy folks, thanks for tuning in. Hope y'all doing okay today. So, I had something interesting happen on my private social media a couple days ago. Posted something similar to the video I posted about Mark Zuckerberg and Joe Rogan. You know how basically neither one of them set out to build this massive thing that both of them have built, and that, you know, Zuckerberg has immensely more reach in social media than Joe Rogan does, as far as, you know, views per episode. But how Joe Rogan is being kind of taken to task for some things that have been deemed misinformation, which I don't like the term because I think it's dishonest. I think it doesn't fit the CDC guidelines in some cases, although I do find it interesting that as time marches on, the things that the doctors that Joe Rogan has said or has had on and what they've said keeps becoming validated on some level. I find it interesting that that's happened, or seems to be happening, at least in my, at least the news that I consume, where I get news, what I find out on a daily and weekly basis, things of that nature. So I find that interesting. But, so, that controversy kind of went away, you know, lasted about a week, and then, we're not talking about that no more. Let's talk about all the bad words he said that you can't say. Okay. Joe Rogan has said words that I personally do not say. Period. That being said, I don't think that makes him less of a human being, and some of the words, which I will not quote here, that he said are aspired to other people's quotes, comedy albums, song lyrics, things of that nature. I don't particularly understand why that is the case, but it is. And Joe Rogan stopped saying that stopped using that language years ago. But now it's a problem. So I posted about that on Facebook. Got a couple likes, a couple comments, and then me and one dude kind of dove down the rabbit hole, so to speak. He said he wasn't going to do it, but he did it anyway. About this, and he's like, anyone that's apologizing for Rogan is apologizing for racism and racial undertones and everything in speech. And I'm like, you realize that this was just a clip, you know, a sound clip, and every time that they clipped it, it shows him quoting somebody or quoting an album cover. One of them happens to be naming off Richard Pryor's comedy album, that he named it that just to mess with white people because we can't say it. So anyways, like, I'm not getting drugged down the rabbit hole, and basically I asked the guy, like, dude, do you believe in redemption or forgiveness? And, you know, do you believe that the person you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, should be held against you today? And I said, you know, I've done and said a lot of stupid things over the years. And I've changed my mind on some things. I've changed my attitudes on some things. You know, I'm not the man I was 10 years ago. I'm not the man I was 5 years ago. I'm every day trying to be better. So, should we hold people's pasts against them when they have clearly changed behavior and clearly don't do the things that we as a society, or even, you know, personally, would disapprove of? Should that be a way that we treat others? And I don't think it is. You know, I I've had to have some self-examination saying this, and having these thoughts, because there are people in my life that have done wrong by me, and if there is a steady example of changed behavior in a person, I don't think that you should hold their past against them. I think that the most that you should do is use the behavior that you didn't like or that you didn't approve of as kind of they're capable of doing this, but they're not anymore, and here's the steps that they took as they were getting better. So, why? So, be wise about it, but don't hold it against them. So, as an example, I've had people wrong me, and it took a long time for me to realize they're not doing that anymore. But that was because it had happened so many times where, well, this always happens, so why wouldn't it happen? And then they change, and I'm, fully expecting, we'll just say, a letdown. And then it doesn't come. Okay, well, maybe I need to start re-examining why I hold this view or opinion, and maybe they are doing better, so maybe I need to do different. Maybe I need to treat them different. Maybe I need to expect more from them. I think that in pop culture, or whatever you want to call it, that Rogan's in a media space, pop culture, celebrity status, that people's pasts are held against them all the time. And I'm not talking like being a week a week sober and coming off of everything like Charlie Sheen. I'm talking years past. I think that that's held against them, and you can see it. They're digging up old videos of Rogan saying stuff that I'll say he shouldn't say, and beating him over the head with it. And I don't think it's a fruitful exercise. That's what I got, folks. I hope redemption is still a thing. I hope forgiveness is still a thing. I think it should be a thing. I think you need to be wise about what people are capable of and be aware of it. And just throwing this out as an example, if you have a significant other or spouse that cheats on you and you find out about it, you need to recognize the signs that you ignored for them to get to that point. And when they establish a track record of good behavior, maybe not always treat them with suspicion, but be on the lookout for those similar signs that you saw the last go around. That way you might be able to save yourself the headache and heartache. That's what I got, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. I've talked long enough on this one.